Well, hello everybody from Kentucky. It's a cool, rainy Friday afternoon here. Just got in from work a little bit ago and started a little project, and I thought I might share it with everybody in case somebody might have the same strange little need that I thought I had. Had a decent gas slash charcoal grill, one of the side by side jobs like Lowe's carries. Had it for several years. It was decent, but of course it was light, thin, rusted out finally after a couple of years. So trashed it. Got a Blackstone griddle propane, and it's awesome. We used it all summer last summer, and we love it. But I do miss my grill occasionally. I like to grill some steaks. I like to grill some burgers, and sometimes you just want to grill some hot dogs. But instead of buying a El Cheapo gas or El Cheapo charcoal grill that's going to rust out in a year or two, I decided what I would do is build me a park style charcoal grill like you would see at a state park, I guess. That's where I've seen them. And they're just concreted down in the ground on a steel post. I do have a little bit of a fire this afternoon. It's not cold out, but it's just chilly and rainy and damp in here in the garage. So I just stoked a little fire up in there. Let's see how she's burning. Oh, it's looking nice. Heating those tubes up. I probably won't even need the blower today because, like I said, it's not terribly cold. But I'm just going to knock the dampness off in here. I'll probably even leave that door open because I'm going to be welding. Got my little MIG welder out here. That thing's for the money. That's probably for less than 300 bucks. That's a decent MIG welder. Now, I'd rather have a Miller, but I'm kind of a home handyman welder, and I couldn't spend $1,000. I could have spent $1,000 on a MIG welder that size. I didn't really want to, because I just do little small projects around here, and for me it does perfect. I've welded with Millers, got Millers at work, love them, and that's welds as good as a Miller of that size. It's not as heavy duty. The wire feed's not all metal like a Miller. It's not going to last like a Miller, I know, but for me, it fits the bill just fine. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about that more if somebody needs to or wants to. But here's my here's my grill shell, and this was a big plate, a 3/16 plate of steel, just a piece of scrap, and I kind of marked that baby out, the shapes I needed, and cut that out. And actually, this piece and the bottom piece and the back piece is one piece. I did not cut it. I just kind of scored the back of it and bent that thing over the edge of my workbench there. So that's all one piece. And then I cut these end pieces out, and I've got it welded together. Now you can see right there that little welder does great. It does a really nice job. I am not a professional welder by any means. I have done a lot of welding in my life, though. And I can say that is a decent welder. That is decent. And that's 3/16 plate. So I have welded quarter with it, and it will weld it. Now, if I go any thicker than that, I'm going to get my old AC DC Hobart out for anything heavier than that. But for this, that little MIG is perfect. And it does. This wasn't going to turn into a welder review, but this welder is adjustable on your wire feed and your heat. Some of them will just have a switch this size, high, low on your heat, or high, medium, low. And then your wire feed, they'll have a few settings, maybe 3 settings, 4 settings. This one is totally adjustable, which is what you want. That's what you want. I've got my welding pliers stuck in that hole. And this is spool gun ready. It will accept a spool gun, which is awesome for welding aluminum, stainless, etc. Does not come with the spool gun. You have to buy that separately. I didn't. I don't really have the need for it, honestly. Although it would be nice, and maybe I might do that down the road. And built that little cart there out of junk. Turned out decent. Okay, now back to the grill. That's what I was going to make a video on. So I saved all the grates out of my charcoal propane grill. I think it had 6 in it, so it had 3 on each side, and I'm going to save them. I actually took 2 of them and kind of buttered them together, and that's what gave me my dimensions for this grill. That's what gave me my dimensions to cut these parts out, because I wanted just to make it use the grates I already had, because it just made sense, I thought. So, notice here got going on. That is going to fit just beautifully, because I made it fit that. I cut the metal to make it fit the grates I had, basically. So what the plan is at this point is I'm probably going to weld these pieces, these grates together, just to make one grate out of it. And the plan is to use this old pump rod, just a piece of solid 1/2-inch solid rod. I'm going to cut 2 1-foot pieces out of that, and I'm thinking I'm going to weld it right underneath here and let about 1.5 inches, maybe 1.5 inches or so stick out the back. And then I'm going to plan on drilling holes in the back of this, maybe a series of, I don't know, probably 3 sets, maybe just 2. I don't know yet. I've not got that far ahead of it yet, but that way I can adjust the height of the grate off the bottom of the grill here, or off the charcoal. And then up here, I'm thinking to correspond with these holes, I'm just going to cut some short pieces of that rod and just weld it here just to correspond with that height, so it's got something to set out front. And that's going to be basically it. Honestly, I'm going to weld a pipe on the bottom of that thing, and I'm planning on just burying that pipe, and it'll look like something out of the part, what you'd see at a part, I think. Hopefully it's going to work great. One thing I am thinking about doing is probably drilling a series of holes, maybe some small holes in the corners, just to let the water, so it don't water don't set in it, it'll drain out. Maybe one in the middle there. So that's the plan with that, and that's basically it. That's the plan. So one thing that is going to be a little bit of an issue is this is powder coat paint. And if you all know what powder coat paint is, it's tough stuff, man. It is tough. So what I'm afraid I'm going to have to do, once I get all my welding done and drilling done, everything I'm going to do to it done, I think I'm going to take it out here and put it in the fire pit. That's my plan. I don't know. Take it out here and put it in the little fire pit over there, and just burn it, basically. Fill it full of wood and burn all around it with some brush or whatever I can find, and just get a good fire going and basically put that in the middle of it. I mean, by doing that, this paint will burn off, and it will burn pretty violently, actually. Not like gas violent, but it will burn like plastic, because that's basically what it is plastic after it's cured. You can see there where the welds penetrated that plate, it burns the paint down to the bare metal. But yeah, that's going to be it. That's going to be it on that. So I'm hoping to try to finish that this weekend maybe, and I'll probably paint the outside of that with some high temp, just some high temp black spray paint probably. Keep the outside of it looking halfway decent. And I did get another bottle calf from that same dairy, and it is doing great. It's doing really good. That's the second one I've got. I don't think you can make it out, but the first one I got from that dairy is down there eating grass, and you can't see nothing but maybe his hind quarter. We'll do another video on that maybe. And I've got a big pile of cedar tree branches in the big burn pile up there because all that ice we had here a while back, 2 weeks ago, it broke several branches out of that tree right there. So I've got that cleaned up and ready to burn. I'm just going to let it dry out and find a good evening and burn that. And that's going to probably be about it for this video. Anybody got any questions or comments about the homemade park style charcoal grill here? Let me know. Be happy to tell you what I know, which that won't take me just a second. Let's check our fire here. That's looking good. I've got some firewood left over from real cold times up here in the garage. Got a couple little stacks here, so I'll end up taking that back to the woodshed. I think the wood burning's about over for this season. But we'll burn a few sticks out here in the garage this afternoon. Fire up the welder, do a little welding. If you want to see what happens next, hit that subscribe button. And thanks everybody for watching. Kentucky Stead out.